Hey everybody, welcome to the in-depth tutorial for the song Build My Life. We are playing the song at 70 BPM. I'll always set my click twice as fast if it doesn't have an eighth note option to be at 140. That way the click is in line with my right hand for that last groove where you're on the cymbal. It's way easier to stay with the click that way. So the song really has a lot of space, and I just want to always give you a heads up that on long songs, or I should say songs with a long intro, you'll always want to make sure to watch your worship leader, talk to them about the arrangement in advance, because a lot of times worship leaders want to bring in a little more momentum in the song and in the arrangement sooner. So watch for them to give you the cues. We're going to bring in the drums in this arrangement when you're watching the play along. It's going to come in with a cymbal swell on the second verse and a real simple kick pattern, just 4 on the floor. We call it 4 on the floor because it's basically the kick drums playing all the quarter notes in the measure. So it goes like this. And then from there, we're still playing the 4 on the floor, and we go into another cymbal swell out of the little channel, musical channel, into verse 2. And I want to tell you, sometimes as a drummer, it's pretty tough to do a cymbal swell and keep your kick on the groove. And the way, kind of a hack for it, to make sure you stay in time, is to make sure that you're like doing triplets or 16th notes or 32nd notes, something that's within the time of the song, so that your hands, still are paying attention to the click and playing along with the click. If your hands are swelling randomly and your kick is trying to stay on the groove, it's really tough. So for me, I typically do like a 30-second kind of on the cymbals, right? As I'm playing with the kick, and that really helps a ton. Out of that cymbal swell going into the verse, we're playing a real simple 4 on the floor with like a Caribbean sort of tom groove. So it goes like this. And from there, we'll go into the chorus, and the chorus borrows the same kind of groove, only instead of just on the floor tom, I'm adding a rack and a couple of subdivisions into the floor tom with a flam on the snare. Again, a flam, if you've seen some of our other in-depth tutorials, I'll talk about this, but a flam is basically letting both your sticks kind of hit the snare really close to each other, but not at the exact same time. If you can think of a flam like a trampoline, right? So you don't want two people to land on the trampoline, otherwise both guys blow out their kneecaps and there's carnage. In this case, what would happen is you just choke the snare if two sticks hit at the exact same time. So if you drop them kind of like that, it's a lot more dramatic than just a single hit. So kind of see how that flam helps out, and it's just like a shotgun of a snare, and it's dramatic and it's helpful to lift that chorus. Also, what I've done in the track that you may or may not want to do depending on the church building that you're playing in and whether you have a drum shield and loud cymbals or quieter cymbals, is I'm adding a lot of cymbals at the top of each chorus phrase just to give it splash and color. But for some places, that's not very appropriate, so always know your room, guys. Remember, you're playing drums with your band to the room, and you never want to do anything that's going to overpower the room. So I'll just give you an overview of that chorus groove with cymbals. Breaking that down, you're basically playing the chorus groove from the first chorus, just with more. Remember, that was... So it all kind of nods to itself. Then out of the bridge, it's just a basic 3 to 4 stage build. You can kind of borrow from mine in the play along, or you can build your own. But what I do is I start with a 4 on the floor kind of idea on the kick drum, build with the hands into a crescendo, into a real straight, simple, open groove. That's probably one of the first grooves you learned. It is the first groove I learned, and it still works. It's like a basic rock and roll beat. But one thing I have done in this that I really encourage you to do is to think about thematically building your fills, no pun intended, But think of your groove and your fills as musical notes, not just rhythmic, right? But think of them as like a melody in and of themselves. And you'll notice throughout the track as you watch the play along, I'm pretty much repeating fills, almost like a guitar player would repeat a guitar part or a vocalist would repeat a line of a chorus. And what that does is that makes it really easy for people to sing along with you because they're not surprised by the random hits from the drummer. We have to be really conscious to support the vocal melody and support what the church is singing. I only throw in one kind of crazy fill just for dramatic effect. It's on the very last chorus because the chorus is repeating, and you kind of want to do something like that to tell people, hey, by the way, we're going to go into this chorus again. So it makes it really dramatic, and you can learn that fill from the play along. But I think the thing I want to leave you with in this tutorial is just keep it simple. Honor your worship leader. Watch for where they want to take it up, where they want to take it down, and be conscious of the space that you create for the vocal. And I'll see you in the play along.